Oh, I almost grabbed Coldplay there. Okay.
Coldplay.
Surprise! It's Coldplay. What?
It was all yellow.
Track number 1. Trouble Vision.
Trouble Vision.
Hello, everybody. Hey, we all have this album.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm in my room.
That's quadruple vision right there. Welcome to the Music Junkies Foreigner album review series. We're going to be talking about Foreigner's second album today, Double Vision, and we have a guest today. We have Nick, who's going to be joining, talking about this album. The second Foreigner album, Double Vision, and I'm going to go into some very brief background information.
Background information. Background information. Background information.
There's not a lot of background information about this album since it was released so shortly after the first one. It was pretty much after the success of the debut album, they went back into the studio and tried to deliver basically a more of the same approach, trying to equal or better what they put out on the first album. Now, the big thing is, did this album live up to the hype that the first album created, since it had such classic songs on it and became a top seller? Or did this one have, as they say, the sophomore slump and put the Foreigner band in a kind of a little bit of a situation where they were going to be just stuck chasing the success of the debut for the rest of their lives? Well, let's go ahead and dig in to find out. All right. First song on this album is one of the big singles, and that would be Hot Blooded.
Okay. Hot Blooded. So, of course, this is one of the big hit songs on the album. I've made it pretty clear I've never been big on their big singles, but to me, this is one of the better of the singles. I like the music of it with the bam, 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 bam. I'm hot blooded, hot blooded. I like it. This is my introduction to Foreigner, by the way. This is the first album I've ever heard from them, and it's a good album opener. Not one of my favorites, but it's a good album opener.
Yeah, this is a great way to open this album. Of course, Hot Blooded is really rocking right from the beginning. I mean, you listen to it, and all of a sudden that guitar hits. And they start with the chorus. They're going right into Hot Blooded, something. I'm 103. Hot Blood. I'm like, wow, they're hitting you right with this chorus, this super catchy chorus. That guitar is so great sounding on here. It's some of the best guitar work. I guess Mick Jones, the guitar player, is doing on this album. And throughout this album, Mick Jones is just killing it on guitar. I think better than the first album. I think guitars are really rocking and sound absolutely amazing. But yeah, I just love that the guitar that goes throughout this song, even through the verses into the chorus. Super catchy stuff. And man, this guitar solo is so good. got like some feedback or something. All of a sudden, it's like you get into that. He's like doing all these like cool noises with the guitar, and I'm guessing he's doing like these bends and these, put on, what do you call them? You hit them real quick, and it sounds amazing. I just love the sound of the guitar. Gets into that guitar solo, and gets back into the chorus. And of course, as I mentioned, the chorus is obviously so catchy. As I said in the first album, Foreigner knows how to write a catchy chorus that really gets you into the song. Yeah, so I thought this was a great opener that gets you rocking right away on the album.
This song very much has the album opener quality that you're looking for, starting the record and hearing that dun 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 with the guitar and the piano, and then you get that riff, that bam 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 bam, and of course that's such a good melody that had to be the vocal melody. I couldn't see it being anything else. That's such a good melody that, like, if they were singing anything else over that, it would almost kind of clash with what was going on. But the fact that that's kind of what they're singing over that, and it's Lou Gramm, so he's just like almost screaming it out there. Hot blooded, check and see.
Yeah.
Out of fever of 103. And then you get to the verse, and it's like bam, ba-da-down, bam, 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 ba-da-down, bam, bam. And you get some good vocal moments there, especially with the "It moves so fine, oh lay it online." And then you get like a pre-chorus, the da 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 da, and it almost feels like every once in a while they kind of like switch it up to where it's like ba da ba da. That they kind of switch that up there, and then of course that takes you back into that chorus, the hot blooded. The guitar solo is really kind of frantic sounding, especially the part that's like that. Very cool and very great way to open up this album. This is a classic for a reason. You're still going to hear this song on the radio today. This one really just stood the test of time.
All right, so going into this album, this was one of two songs I knew going in. Obviously, Hot Blooded is one of the biggest hits on the album. I know it charted real high on the Billboard charts. Definitely one of the most recognizable guitar riffs. That ties into the chorus. I love Lou Gramm's vocals, where he's like, hot blooded, hot blooded. This is just such a fun song. I've always enjoyed it since I first listened to it at a young age. It's one of those great sing-along songs, especially in the chorus. I think it's one of those songs where I think the chorus is stronger than the verses. The verses are just okay, but it's got such a great chorus, and it's still one of the recognizable songs because of it. It made my top 5 on the album, but of the singles, this one's actually my least favorite of the singles. I think the other singles on here are actually stronger, but this is still another highlight song on the album. Really enjoyed it, and a really great way to open the album.
Well, speaking of singles, we got another one coming up for track number 2, but I don't hear this one talked about as much. In fact, the first time I listened to this album, it was a blind spot to me, but let's hear what we have to say about it, and that is Blue Morning, Blue Day.
This is a great follow-up song. I think it's a much better song than the first one. Oh my gosh. Blue morning, blue day, something my way. Blue morning, blue day. I feel like this should be a song that plays on the radio a lot more than Hot Blooded. I mean, to me, Hot Blooded, I hear that song so many times. This song I never hear on the radio. Great, like, obscure hit that used to be hit, but now it's kind of obscure now. To me, this is one of the highlights on the album.
Yeah, 100% agree. This is a great. Again, the first album, they hit you with 2 great songs, 2 of the best songs on the album in the first album, and then here they're hitting you with another 2 great songs. Yeah, and this is, I'm pretty sure I've heard this on the radio. This sounds very familiar. When I didn't remember it when I saw the title. I was like, didn't know. And then when I bought this album to use album store or whatever that I go to, and I never heard the album before. I just bought it on a whim because I was like, oh, Double Vision, that's like a hit song. This album's called Double Vision. I'll buy the album and listen to it. Hopefully it's good. And yeah, when I got to this song, I was like, oh, I think I know this song. This is great. Like, it was like one of those great surprises you have when you're like, don't realize it's a song you recognize until you hear it and you go, oh yeah, that song. I've heard it. So I had that moment. I like Nick was doing in there. That intro is so good. Like, it's such a great intro. So unique sound. It's like as soon as you hear it, oh man, this sounds so familiar. That dun 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 whatever. It like hooks you right away. Like I felt like as soon as I put this on today or was listening to it, as soon as I heard that guitar at the beginning, it like, man, that hooks you in. Like 2 seconds in the song, I'm like, I'm hooked. I'm enjoying the song, and they even start singing yet, and I'm like really into the song already. So I was like, that's a pretty good band if you can like hook me right in, or a good song if you hook me right in from the very beginning with your first, intro, whatever. But yeah, again, catchy chorus, just like the first song. Another really good guitar solo here too. No, I don't like it as much as Hot Blood, but still, like I said, Mick Jones just killing it on guitar on this. I noticed the guitar part a lot more on this album than the first album, where he's just sounding amazing. Where I'm like, I don't know who this guy is, but he's great. I'm not as familiar with Foreigners, they're the band members, and yeah, and I love what they do the same they did on the first album, I think, and kind of almost like a trademark. I feel like a Foreigner is like, I guess I'll say it on another song. Double Vision has kind of a similar thing, I think, but I don't know. You do the Blue Morning, Blue, and then Lou Gramm, he like has another notch he can hit you with. He's like singing pretty good, and all of a sudden he goes Blue Morning, Blue Day, and he's like hitting these incredible notes and really belting it out, going my way, and you're like, oh, I love that. Love when he just starts kicking another level on the song, anyways. But yeah, great song.
Yeah, the riff at the beginning of this one really just shows that this isn't just a one single album. You get that bow now now bow now 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 down out down out now bow down down. And then you get into the verses, which is really good. Interesting chords that they used there. I like the part right before the chorus where it's kind of like a pop 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 pop. They kind of switch up the rhythm there when it's like the you tell me you do 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 do, but underneath the drummer is like pop 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 pop, kind of like switching the rhythm a bit, which is really interesting. And I love the chorus, the blue morning, blue day, won't you see things my way? And then, of course, the outro, whenever the backing vocals are singing that, and then Lou Gramm is doing the improv, and he just hits that blue, blue, blue day, yeah. Just hits that really high note there. It's just like, yeah. Good guitar solo as well. Kind of a more melodic approach. Hot Blooded was kind of more sporadic. Hot Blooded is, or Blue Morning Blue Day is kind of following the more melodic approach to the guitar soloing, but I really like this one as well.
All right, so I said this before we got on. I just listened to this album for the first time before we got on here to talk about this album. I normally like to listen to it twice, but it is what it is. I had never heard this song before, and you told me this was a hit song. I'm like, it's crazy. I've never heard this song. It's kind of like when we reviewed Tattoo You. It was a shocker when I revealed that the first time I ever heard Waiting on a Friend off Tattoo You, which apparently was a hit song. My first time listening to it was on that album. So I guess it's kind of like a Waiting on a Friend situation. But Blue Morning, Blue Day, what's my thoughts on it? I'm going to say this is the best discovery on the whole album. I love this song. This song is an absolute earworm. The guitar riff is great. I mean, it sticks with you. It's another one where I love the chorus. The blue morning, blue day, Baby, don't mind me, Ramona. And then the harmonies with that is what really makes it a great song. It's very infectious. I think it's one of the more upbeat songs on the album. It's one where I think, why isn't this song play on the radio? I guess it didn't chart as well as the other singles, and I guess it's kind of forgotten about. I'm sure my local classic rock station might occasionally play it on a Sunday afternoon. They do a thing called Sundays at the 70s, and they'll play like forgotten about hit songs from bands in the 70s. I'm sure they play that. That was the first time I ever heard "Dirty Work" by Steely Dan. So,
Good
Man.
song.
That's a great one.
I love that.
so they can. So they'll pull out some heavy hitters if you listen to them enough. But I do really like this one. Definitely another one of the album highlights. It's easily in my top 5.
All right. Well, our third song is "You're All That I Am."
This is an awesome ballad. This is an awesome ballad. I mean, I'm not sure. I mean, I know now we know that they would go to do some really huge ballads, but I mean, at this time they weren't really known for the ballads, and this is an amazing ballad. Like, to me, this is one of their best ballads, in my opinion. This is a really, really great ballad, and I wish this ballad was bigger than it actually is. It's really good.
I agree. I love this ballad. It's so good. This is my favorite discovery, I guess you can say, on the album. Like last album, you had the "I'm a Fool for You" or something like that. That I was like, that was a great discovery, and that was like a ballad. That was like my favorite ballad on that album. This is my favorite ballad on this album. I love these. I love ballads, and I love when Foreigner, they're good in these. Like the first 2 songs are like really good. More the rocking songs on the album, I would say. The 2 more, they're not hard rock, but they're just more fast-paced rock songs or whatever. And then you hit them with this incredible ballad. I was like, wow, I love that. Hit you with 2 good rockers, then a ballad. And I think this is Lou Gramm still, isn't it? Singing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So it's great hearing that. Yeah, it's a nice love song, and it's got such a great melody to it. And I don't know, I just love it sounds so nice. Something like, "You're the love of my life. You're all I am." Oh, beautiful when they sing that part and they're singing together. Yeah, it's just a wonderful. And there's even a really nice guitar solo that comes in, and it's not a rocking guitar solo. It's just like a nice little guitar solo that hits you and you go, yeah, that was great. I love that. Yeah, this is definitely. I'm gonna say this. When I first heard this, I thought this sounds like Chicago or something like that. Like this could be on a Chicago album. It's I love a good Chicago ballad, and to me, this is like a Chicago type ballad, I guess, in my opinion. Where if I heard the song for the first time, I would thought, oh, is this Chicago? Like, I was like, no, it's Foreigner. But man, they're killing it on this ballad, like in a really good way. Like this is like what a really good rock band ballad like Chicago would do, and loved it. Yeah, it's definitely now one of my favorite Foreigner songs I've heard.
I like this one. I like that it's more piano based, starting with the piano. It just plays like one chord and then it goes right into it. Lou Gramm definitely tapping into a different side of his vocals, kind of similar to what he did on "Fool for You" anyway on the last album. Great chorus. You're all my life, you're all I am. And I love what Al Greenwood does with like the synclavier instrument right at that part. That's like the down, da da down. Interesting keyboard sound on that. Yeah, this is a really good song on this album as well. We are 3 for 3 so far.
Oh, how do I respond to this? Because I'm gonna have to break that streak. I was not that big on this song.
Really? Oh my gosh.
I don't like. This was a song. It's like, yeah, I get what you guys are saying. I'm glad you guys like the song, but I listened to it and I was like, this one just felt kind of subpar in comparison. I don't know why I just didn't gel with it, maybe I needed to listen to it more times.
Yeah.
They just because I was kind of rushing to get through this album, but I thought this was my least favorite song on the album. I thought it was kind of it's not an awful song, but I just thought the song was just like to me their worst song at this moment is Head Knocker. I guess the song is just kind of there. I guess the production's fine, but like compared to Fool for You Anyway, which had just a great soulful sound to it, I love the groove of that song. To me, this song just kind of paled in comparison.
Track number 4.
Yeah.
Back Where You Belong.
This is another really good song on the album. This wasn't sung by their normal lead singer.
Yeah.
Which it's interesting. I mean, he's done. I know he did Star Rider. I know he did another song on the debut, which I really liked.
Woman, oh woman.
Yeah, that one too. And he does another song on this album, which I also really like. I wish he did more lead vocals, especially after this album. I mean, I think after the third album, he just stopped doing them.
Oh, really?
But to me, this is one of my favorite songs on the album as well. It's another ballad, but it's like there's like synthesizers in it, which is really cool. I'm like, I remember when I first heard that, I'm like, what is that noise? This is cool. I'm like, I mean, that and I remember that and Who's Next. I remember first discovering the synthesizer like that when the song was over with the synths on that. So that song and this song kind of introduced me to that, and I'm a sucker for that. And I'm not gonna spoil it, but this is definitely in my top 3.
Yeah, I thought this was a really good song. And I agree, Mick Jones, I thought did a really good job singing it. Like, I was like, Lou Gramm is definitely probably the better rocker, maybe, and hitting big notes and stuff like that. But Mick Jones does a great job on this album when he's singing. And so I was like, that's pretty cool. I like that when you got multiple lead singers or people that can pitch in. I think makes it a more diverse album, whatever. And so, yeah, I really liked it. It's a little more upbeat maybe than the last song, but it's not a rocker. It's kind of like in the middle, I guess. But really nice. Like I love the overall production of the song. I like the acoustic guitar kind of picking at the beginning. I thought was really great. And yeah, the synthesizers and all the different sounds, really cool. I love what they did with all the different musical instruments here. And yeah, it's a really good one too.
I was a little hit or miss about Mick Jones's lead vocals on the last album.
Mm-hmm.
This is amazing though. The whole thing is him. The other one, he just did like half the songs, and Lou Gramm did the second half. This is all him. I like the guitar. I like that. That's a cool guitar intro. I like the melody. Good chorus as well. And like everyone's been mentioning, the synthesizers from Al Greenwood on here, really cool. Him and Ian McDonald are kind of the secret sauce to these first 3 albums. Sadly, they get fired from the band when they make 4. But on these first 3 albums, a lot of the cool elements of these songs are what they bring to the songs. And I think Al Greenwood is kind of the hidden MVP of this one here, adding all those cool synthesizer, almost like spacey sounding elements to this song. It's one of the most underrated here on the album. I really like it.
Yeah, this is a better song than the last one. Mick Jones, I think his voice definitely is not near as strong as Lou Gramm. And I think on this song, it takes you a while to get used to his voice, especially since Lou Gramm sang on the previous songs. But by the time you get to the chorus where the band sings together and they sing the hook, I'm like, man, they actually sing really great together. I love it when Foreigner harmonize. It's really great stuff. I do like the guitar work. There's some cool synth production on this song. I think there's better songs on the album than this, but I still thought it was a really good song.
Okay, so our 5th song is going to be Love Has Taken Its Toll.
Yeah, this is kind of when it kind of goes a little down. This song. This is my least favorite song on the album. I never cared for the song. It's just to me, it's just the generic rock song from them. It's not terrible, but it's just it sounds like one of those songs where it'll be in the background of a movie, not like a high budget movie, but like a B level movie. Hard to describe, but it's like just music in the background. Like it's not supposed to be recognized, but it's just a song that's played on the jukebox in the background. To me, it's not a terrible song, but to me, it's a mediocre song.
Yeah, I really like the song. I would say what really wins it over for me, I think, is the chorus. Because yeah, the verses are okay. It's not the selling point, I guess. But I don't know. When it hits the chorus, I'm like, this is still really catchy, and I'm still like really enjoying what they're doing here. And also, they have a really nice sax solo in here, good saxophone solo. And I feel like this album, they have more horns on it, more saxophone, especially than the last album. I really like the horns. Adding the horn section on this album, I think, was really good as well.
I have some mixed feelings about this song. I like the guitar, the boom, 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 like the Chuck Berry kind of guitar they have going on under it. And the vocals are all right, but I just can't get past the storytelling on this song. I'm like, Lou Gramm is like, some girls don't want you, but like you can persuade them. And I'm like, what? And he's like, I was out working, I saw this pretty girl, I walked up, and I lost my words, and I couldn't say anything, so I just grabbed her waist. I'm like, bro, you're going to get punched in the face doing that. And oddly enough, the very next line is, she backhanded me in the face. I'm like, I told you. But the ending makes no sense because they end up together at the end. I'm like, bruh, what is the point of this song?
All right. This isn't one of my favorites either. I like it better than my least favorite song on the album. I did notice some of the lyrics, which were a little weird, so I guess I'm kind of in agreement with Scott there. Although the slapping me in the face was kind of a funny line. But the chorus is fine, but it doesn't hit the high levels of the rest of the album. So to me, it's more memorable than my least favorite song, but it's still not a great song.
Okay, we're going to flip the record over, and I'm going to physically flip the record over to find out what the next song. Oh, wait, no, I know what the next song is.
Oh.
Flip it over. But Double Vision, the title song.
Double Vision. Yeah, this is a great song.
I redid it.
This is like one of their few hit songs that I actually really enjoy. And it's such a catchy chorus. Feel my eyes for that double vision. Ooh, when it comes through to me, when it gets sung to me, that double vision is the best thing.
Coming soon on Nick Sings Double Vision.
But, yeah, it's a really, really good song.
Yeah, so this is their big song on the album for sure. I think this is one of their big hits that I think were on the radio quite a bit. It's the reason why I bought this album. I didn't know anything except for Double Vision, really, and Hot Blooded. When I looked at it, besides that, I was like, I don't really know this album, but it's got Double Vision on it, so I'll buy it. It's, doesn't cost too much money. It's used. Anyways, and so, yeah, it definitely was a big selling point on getting this album. It's like, okay, I know it's got Double Vision on it. Yeah, and that's a great song. Of course, I've heard many times on the radio. Definitely one of my favorite Foreigner songs, even before I heard this album. I've only heard about 3 albums, so yeah. What I really love is the horn section when it kicks in. There's like this part where it's like, I don't know, it's like they do, like he sings a little bit, and then they have like a little bit of an instrumental section, and then he sings a little bit, and then right before they get into the chorus, the horns all of a sudden kick in, and dun 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 dun. Feel my eyes. Oh, such a great transition. I think Foreigner does a really great job of transitioning from verses to choruses with their instrumentation. Like they really rev you up into you're like waiting for that chorus to kick in, and then they get you right into that chorus, and it's like, oh, that's so good. It's such a great transitioning into that, because that's obviously the highlight of that song is the once you get to that, yeah, as Nick was singing, you know, fill my eyes, that double vision, and it's some of the best harmonies I think on the album when they sing that chorus with the double vision. I love it. They sound amazing. It is a amazing chorus overall. And then there's this part like towards the end, I think, where the backing vocals are just doing the ooh double vision, and they're just singing that over and over again, and it sounds great. And then Lou Gramm can do that thing where he just belts out an improv. It sounds like he's just ad-libbing these like incredible vocals, you know, while the backing vocals are just doing that same chorus. Love when they do that. They did it kind of on Cold as Ice. I love that about Foreigner when they do that kind of stuff.
This song is amazing. I love the guitar riff at the beginning. The bow, bow, ba down, bow down, bow, bow, bow down, bow down. The drums. Feeling down and dirty, feeling kind of mean. Bow, 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 bow. No. I've been from one to another extreme. Bow down, 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 down. Oh man, I just love it so much.
Yeah.
And then Jason was talking about that little anticipation of the chorus, that bow down, 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 ba, 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 especially whenever the saxophones come in there. I was talking about Al Greenwood doing the synthesizer on the last song. Now we got, or the last 2 songs ago. Now we got Ian McDonald playing the saxophones on this one. I love the chorus, the fill my eyes with that double vision. And then in the background, you got that piano doing that, like that. And then the guitar, the double vision. Oh, bow, 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 down, down, down. Yeah, I love whenever they do those chromatic walk-ups on the guitar. Yeah. They had some of that kind of in Blue Morning, Blue Day as well. But the bow, down, 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 bow. Double vision. And then whenever it gets to the end, whenever they're doing the backing vocals, you know, I don't think I've ever noticed Foreigner's backing vocals as much since Jason mentioned that on the last video. But now I'm listening for them on this one of the double vision. And then again, that I think Jason's cracked their formula. They have a good verse. They have a big rev up anticipation to the chorus. You have a guitar solo. Then at the end is just them, the backing vocals repeating the chorus with Lou Gramm improvising and singing really high. I think, Jason, you've cracked the Foreigner formula.
Yeah, I think they're trademark it.
You found it out. That's how Foreigner makes a record. But yeah, amazing song. Love this one.
All right, so I almost put on my thing literal double vision. You probably wouldn't have got the reference if I did. I'm the only one in here that wears glasses, and you always get called, like, growing up, like when you get picked on at school, you get called the 4 eyes. So it's like, I guess technically that's what, quadruple vision?
Quadruple vision, because we all have the album.
Yeah. But yeah, this is the other song I knew going in. This was the other really, really big hit on the album. Yeah, this is a great song. I think it's even better than Hot Blooded. Great guitar work. That riff is great. I think the verses are just as strong as the chorus on this song. That's why I think it's better than Hot Blooded. I love the horns. The horns on this song is what make this song great. Feel my eyes with that double vision. Yeah, that's another really good chorus. But I love this song regardless. It's easily in my top 5.
Well, our next song, I'm going to try to say the name of this. Tromontane.
Yeah.
We'll just call it Foreigner's only instrumental in their entire discography.
Well, it's their one and only instrumental, and I think it's the best track on the album.
Oh.
I love this song. This has always been one of me and my dad's favorite tracks we bonded over. I remember when I first heard it, I was like, "This is really cool." My dad's like, "You like this song?" This is awesome. He's like, "Well, I also really like it," and it's such a badass instrumental. Bum, 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 da, 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 da. And then the guitar is awesome. I always loved this track. This has always been my favorite Foreigner track.
Okay. Yeah, of course, I'm not big on instrumentals usually. They're usually my least favorite on the album. I would say it's a good instrumental as far as instrumentals go. Like I like how the guitar strumming at the beginning. I thought was pretty nice. I like it was a nice kind of sound to it. Yeah. Then they said the guitar playing was great. There's some horns section in here. Yeah, instrumentally, it's really well done. The only criticism I think I would have is that it feels like it went a little long. I started getting bored towards the end of the instrumental. So if it was a little shorter, I might have liked it better. But right now I'm saying, yeah, it was all right as far as instrumentals go. I would rather just put a song on here. Whatever.
I thought this was a really cool track. I like the boom, boom at the beginning. Boom, boom.
Yeah.
And then the synthesizers are bow, 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 bow. I think Nick is definitely the one that likes it the most. I'm not going to say that this is one of my favorite songs on the album, but I actually thought it was really cool.
All right. So historically, I'm not the biggest fan of instrumentals on a lot of these albums we cover. They tend to be my least favorite song on the album. There was one exception when I reviewed, I think it was the album Sabotage by Black Sabbath. That album was not the best album, but there was one instrumental on that album that was so awesome. It was my favorite song on the album. I think it was called Super Czar. It's actually a really cool track.
Just wait for YYZ by Rush.
Oh, YYZ, yeah.
But this song, it's not my least favorite song on the album. It actually just barely missed my top 5. I actually really like this track. I wasn't sure at first with the guitar strumming at the beginning. I'm like, oh, this is all it's going to be. It's going to be a boring instrumental. But then the rest of the track kicks in, the guitar work. There was some synthesizer stuff on there. The riff on this song was awesome. I'm like, man, Foreigner, I didn't know you could do this. This is amazing. I thought this was another highlight track on the album. We're getting to the part of the album where there were some songs that were so good on this album that some of these songs just barely missed out my top 5, and this was one of them.
All right. Well, our next song. I have waited for so long.
This is another awesome song. I've been waiting oh so long. It's a nice chill song. I mean, after that epic instrumental, it's like, how do you follow up that epic instrumental? And that's how. Whoa, this song is awesome, and it's another one of my favorites on the album. There's, like I said, there's so many awesome songs on this album, and so I joined for the review. Yeah, this is another huge highlight for me.
Yeah, I thought this was such a great song. This is my second favorite discovery where I was like, wow, this is such a great song that I've never known before until I heard this album. And again, it's Mick Jones, I believe, on his second song. They sing it, does a great job. I don't know if he's really good at ballads or really good at the slower, maybe not super slow, but not the rockers. But yeah, I'm all for Mick Jones singing more songs like this. He does such a great job. More of a ballad. I'm really loving the ballads on this album. Unlike the other album where I only liked like one ballad, I think there's like 3, and I only liked one of them. The other 2 were a little too slow and boring. These 2 ballads are amazing. Some of the best stuff I've heard from Foreigner. And I love that how he starts that with "I have waited so long." Oh, it's beautiful. Like, oh, it gets you right in. You're like, wow, I'm really into this. And I like the whole song is like he's like the girl maybe left him, but he's winning her back and they're together. So it's a really nice, like, overall song lyrically, I think. Really nice, sweet, I think, song. Yeah, I really like the lyrics overall. The melody is great. Love the bass. Bass was so good. Like, it's so melodic and it's moving. It's like boom, 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 boom. It's like, it sounds so great the way it's moving around the song, if that makes sense. And there's even a saxophone in here. I thought sounded great. Yeah, this really was a great discovery again. Like the other song, "You're All I Am." It's just like, wow, more of this, more of these ballads. I love them.
I'm gonna feel like Jacob after you're all. I thought this one was just okay. I'm not gonna say it's a bad song because it's Foreigner. Like the only really bad song I've had so far is Head Knocker. I don't really like that one, even though I still gave that album a 10. But no, I like this one, but it's not as interesting as the other stuff on the album. I like the "I have waited for so long," but that's like about all I can really remember of it. I know Mick Jones is the one who sings this one. He did great on the other song that he sang on here, "Back Where You Belong." But again, with this one, it was like I don't know. It's not as good. Like it's good for when I listen to this album, but this isn't one that I'm going back to all the time.
All right. So where do I fall under? I'm with Nick and Jason.
Okay.
This is one of my favorite songs on the album. This is my other favorite discovery. This song made my top 5. I thought this song was even better than the other Mick Jones led song by a landslide. This is another great acoustic ballad on the album. I think Mick Jones sings great on it. There's some really good harmonies on here. It reminded me of a Beatles track, like one of the early Beatles songs, which I love it when artists do songs that feel like they're paying homage to other artists and they do it in their own unique way. And that's what I felt like listening to this song, because you still have the production that makes a great Foreigner song. I think, was there a sax solo on this one, or am I getting this confused with another song?
Was there a what?
A saxophone solo.
Yeah, there's a saxophone on here.
Yeah, I remember the sax solo on this song was amazing. Like I said, there's some great backing vocals on here. I just thought this was a great underrated Foreigner ballad. I put this up there with "Fool for You" anyway as one of their more underrated songs.
That's interesting. I'm thinking maybe like "A Hard Day's Night," maybe.
Yeah, it does kind of sound like some of the stuff on "A Hard Day's Night." Like,
Yeah, maybe I was thinking early Beatles, like "Hard Day's Night," "Help," those era Beatles albums.
I'm thinking
I'd say if like Paul McCartney led this song, and if it was on like Beatles for Sale, it'd be the best song on that album. I wonder.
I was trying to think of what to compare it to. Maybe like "And I Love Her" or "If I Fell." Maybe
I'll Be Back is probably the.
I'll Be Back. Yeah.
Either that or
Yeah.
What's the other one that Paul McCartney does on "A Hard Day's Night"? Things we said today, kind of almost.
Yeah.
Kind of similar vibes to those songs.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, our next song is "Lonely Children."
Yeah, this is kind of like these last 2 songs on the album. I'm not a big fan of. To me, this is where the album kind of takes a nosedive. I don't really care for this song. Like, this and the last song were the 2 songs I had to re-listen to because they're so forgettable in my opinion. Especially this song. I can't even. This is the Before They Make. I mean, to me, the last 2 songs are the Before They Make Me Run, and to me, it's like Before They Make Me Run, and the next song is Before They Make Me Walk. Just okay songs.
Before They Make Me Walk. That's what a baseball player who's a really good batter says whenever it's his turn to hit and the bases are almost loaded.
Or should I say Before They Make Me Run, and then After They Make Me Run.
Yeah, I'm kind of in total agreement with Nick on this. I think these are the two weakest songs on the album. Lone Children, it's okay. I think as far as rock songs go, it's serviceable, I guess. As far as like the guitar playing, still pretty good. The lead singing still pretty good. It's not as catchy as a lot of the good stuff on the album. I think are super catchy stuff. This doesn't really have a catchy chorus to it that really stays with me, I would say. And yeah, so it's not bad. It's just definitely one of the weaker songs.
I agree with you guys that this is one of the weaker songs here, but I like it more than you guys because of the guitar riff. That other than that, it's kind of a forgettable song. I mean, the chorus. What is the chorus? Lonely children on the run. Lonely children need someone. Oh crap! It's "Miss You." Da 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 da. I have to do that. Girl, I miss you. Same year too. Oh, you're copying the Stones, foreigner. That Stones song is much better too because of that bass. Boom, 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 boom. Now I got that. That's a much better song than this.
Now I got that in my head. Yeah.
Yeah. Nah, not one of the better songs on this album.
Oh, I like this one fine. That guitar riff is really good. I like the chorus that Scott was talking about. I didn't really put two and two together with the being similar to "Miss You" by the Stones.
I just thought of that myself when I was singing it.
But it was still a good chorus. I like the harmonies on it. This was one that just barely missed out on my top 5. I don't think it's an awful song by any means. I'll take it over Head Knocker. But that's not saying much. But I thought the song was pretty good for what it is.
Okay, last song, Spellbinder.
Same review for the last one. It's just a mediocre song that I can't remember.
Yeah, this was my least favorite song on the album, actually. I thought it was a little too slow. It was a little too boring. I think the guitar playing was really good, though, and the bass playing was really good. Like, I noticed, I was like, yeah, I really like this guitar and bass. I don't know. It was just kind of a slow-moving song. It wasn't a great ballad. It wasn't a great rock song. It was just, I don't know. It kind of sucks that they ended with this. I'm like, this is your closer? You could have picked something better than this, but, yeah, it wasn't very good.
Yeah, so the last album, I Need You, I said I liked that song, but I felt like Full should have been the album closer. This one, I just don't even like the closer. Like, it's... I don't even really remember much about this song. I remember something about she's a spellbinder, something kind of like that.
Yeah.
Which it's sad because I feel like the A side of this record is so much stronger than the B side. We had all those great songs on the first side. The second side is promising with Double Vision, and then after, you got the instrumental, which is cool. But I feel like everything after that is just kind of there, which is sad because there were so many good songs on the first side of this record, and
Yeah.
I like Double Vision, I like the instrumental, but everything after that is either kind of mediocre or not very good. So yeah, I don't really like this one. I mean, Lou Gramm, great vocalist, so his vocals are still good, but I just feel like the songwriting wasn't as good on this one.
Wow. This is another 3 against 1 type of situation. First, it was "You're All I Am." Now it's me with Spellbinder. I'm actually going to be defending this song. I thought this is a really good song. This made my top 5. I really like the ballad nature of the song. I think it's got some of Lou Gramm's best vocals on it. Yeah, it's the longest song on the album, but it had a really good build, especially with the guitar. There's some really amazing strings on this song. And I don't know if I've ever said this before, but I'm a sucker for strings, especially in rock songs.
And what Jacob's a sucker for, other than Cotton Fields.
Yep. And I love the build on this song, especially when the strings come into play. This, like I said, this had a really good chorus, and I thought it was a really cool way to close out the album. Maybe a little unorthodox. It kind of reminds me a bit of "I'm Gonna Crawl" on the Stones' last album, and I was one of the few people that like that song. So maybe I like sometimes these really slow rocking ballads on some of these rock albums. if the lead singer does like a killer job vocally. So yeah, Spellbinder, great song. Even though I'm like, I'm not the only one that agrees with this. Apparently, I read Mick Jones put this in his top 11 Foreigner songs, so he really liked it too.
Okay.
Then again, sometimes I don't always take the artist's word for their own music. John hated some of the Beatles' best songs.
Yeah, I was looking on here. I think he had this Spellbinder and Blue Morning, Blue Day as among his 11 favorite Foreigner songs.
I'm gonna agree with him on Blue Morning, Blue Day, but
Yeah,
Spellbinder.
and he had a couple. And then on the first album, he had Long, Long Way from Home, Cold as Ice, The Damage is Done, and Fool for You Anyway. So that's 7 out of 11 right there.
Oh wow. I'm wondering what his other ones are.
Yeah.
I'll have to look that up. Okay, that's the end of the album. What's our top 5?
Okay, let me look at the top 5. I'm gonna go top to bottom. Number 1, I'm gonna go with the instrumental, Tromontane. Number 2, I'm gonna go with let me see, Back Where We Belong. Number 3, I'm gonna go with Blue Morning, Blue Day. Number 4, I'm gonna go with You Are All I Am, and number 5, I'm gonna go with Double Vision.
All right, number 5, I'm going with Hot Blooded, which is pretty good. That's a good song. It's number 5. And I should say, Back Where You Belong and Love Has Taken a Toll, honorable mentions, I guess. I really like those 2 songs, and they didn't make it into my top 5. But Hot Blooded, great song. And number 5, because it's such a good album. Number 4, Blue Morning, Blue Day, another great song. It's number 4. I love the ballads so much. Those are the songs I go back to when I re-listen to this album. And yeah, number 3, I have Waited So Long. Number 2, I have You're All I Am. And number 1, the typical Double Vision. It's one of my favorite Foreigner songs.
Number 5, Back Where You Belong. Number 4, why did I forget the name? You're All I Am. I was like the piano song. Number 3, Hot Blooded. Number 2, Blue Morning, Blue Day. And number 1, it's the name of the album for a reason, Double Vision.
For a reason.
All right. So I have Back Where You Belong, Lonely Children, and Tromontane, the instrumental, as my honorable mentions. Number 5, Spellbinder. I'm dying on that hill.
Okay.
Number 4, Hot Blooded. Number 3, I Have Waited So Long. Number 2, Double Vision. And number 1, Love Has Taken Its Toll. No, that's the false pick. My actual number 1 is Blue Morning, Blue Day.
I knew you were gonna like that song. I knew you liked that one. That's such a good song.
Yeah, I just heard it tonight when we recorded this.
That was my favorite song.
It might just be. I hope it's not a recency bias.
When I first heard this album, that was my favorite song too. But the more I listened to it, the more I was like, nah, Double Vision. But those two kind of like 1A, 1B. Those are my 2 favorites on there.
They're great. Yeah.
All right. What are we gonna score this album?
For me, I'm gonna give this a 9 out of 10. That's a decent album opener. I'm not the biggest fan of the side closer, and the last 2 songs are, to me, very weak. But the highs on the album are really high, but to me, it doesn't warrant it a 10 out of 10, though. Like albums like Revolver and Magical Mystery Tour, where the highs are just too high, where I can't give it any lower than a 10. But yeah, I really, 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 really like this album. But to me, this is a step off from the debut album, which the debut album I would give my highest score. I would give one of their albums, which is a 9.5 out of 10. So I wouldn't give any of their albums a 10 out of 10 personally. But to me, their albums just keep getting worse and worse. Like, I love their first album the most. Then their second album kind of drops a little tiny bit in quality. Then the third album drops a lot in quality, and to me, every album after that I could care less about. Hence why I'm not in this series.
Yeah, when I bought this album, like I said, I used the used record store I go to, and I never heard the album, but I was like, really wanted to get into Foreigner because actually I heard 4 first because Bryer put it on our essential albums list. So I heard 4, and I liked 4 so much. I was like, I need to listen to more Foreigner. I thought 4 was such a good album. And so I saw Double Vision. I was like, oh, this might be good. It has Double Vision on it. So I just bought it on a whim, put it on my record player, and listened to the album, and was so surprised I liked it. I was like, why is it's almost like, why didn't anybody tell me how good this album is? Like, I don't think I've heard anybody talk about this album. Maybe someone has, and I just don't remember. But I was like, this album is so good. I was like so blown away by how much I enjoyed the album that I gave it a 10 out of 10, and I'm still sticking with it. To me, it's a 10 out of 10. This is a really good rock album. It has some great rock songs on it, some great ballads, some great, I would say, like mid-tempo songs or something like that on it. I think that my top 7 songs are so good. Like, I really love those 7 songs. The other 3, not as much, but it's not so bad that it's going to hurt me from. And I still had such a blast listening to this album, and I really like Foreigner now. Like, I've heard 3 albums. 3 albums are really good so far. The first album and 4. So I'm interested in hearing what else they got, of course. But yeah, I think this is definitely a must album to either listen to or to buy. You know, and it's in my top 50 favorite albums now. So.
Oh wow, cool. If I was a fan of Foreigner and I waited for this album, I would not be disappointed. This is a very good follow-up record to the debut. However, I do think it is not quite as good as the first album. The first album, the only song I really didn't like was Head Knocker, but I felt like the other songs made up for it. This one, Love Has Taken Its Toll, Spellbinder, Lonely Children, not quite as good, especially that stuff on the second side. I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10, but remember, we're on my new scoring system. I'd have probably given it a 9 if I was on my old scoring system with the halves. But 8 is still good. It's actually great. I have 5 is average, 6 is okay, 7 is good, 8 is great, 9 is amazing, and 10 is the best.
Yeah.
So 8 is still, that still means I think this is a great album. I mean, grief, I have it in my collection. I have to have liked it to have bought it and put it in my collection. And bought a copy, and it's still in the shrink wrap there.
Yeah.
I just think it's not as good as the first album, and I don't think it's as good as some of their later albums as well. Like the big one being Foreigner 4, which I can't wait to review that one. That one is amazing.
Yeah.
But I still really like this album. I like most of the stuff. If there's like 3 songs I'm not a big fan of, 1 song that's okay, and then an instrumental that's amazing, but it's just, it's an instrumental. That's an 8, still good. All right, I'm not trying to hate on this album or nothing. I still really like it. I haven't given an album an 8 in a while. I guess I'm trying to defend why I'm giving it an 8. It really comes down to my new scoring system. You're going to be hearing some lower scores now, and that's kind of the way I intended it, because I was like, in my old system, it was like 9, 9.5, 10, 9.5.
Yeah.
The lowest you would ever hear is 8.5, and that would even be for something that I thought was just all right. So I had to switch my system.
All right, so I gave the first Foreigner album a 9, and I'm going to give this album a 9 as well. I think these albums are very neck and neck for me in quality. I think the first album, has the better singles, like Cold as Ice and Feels Like the First Time. But while there's great singles on this album, like Double Vision, Blue Morning, Blue Day, Hot Blooded, this album really excels on the deep cuts. I think I like some of the deep cuts on this album better, like Spellbinder, I've Waited So Long, and the instrumental even is a great song. So you still see the great quality from Foreigner. in the early years of the band in the 70s. I can't decide which album I like more. I think the first album I like slightly more than Double Vision, but still, it's a really good album in its own right. And I'm sure their other albums in their peak are going to be just as good, if not better. But I guess we'll see.
All right, well, that was Double Vision. Thank you guys for joining. Excited to review the next one, even though it is my pick for one of the worst album covers of all time.
That's
Yeah, it's a little. Yeah, that's not the best cover.
That I don't know how that passed. I don't know how they released that. I think their third album, Head Games, didn't sell as well as their first two, and I really think it had to do with that cover. It features the big hit "Dirty White Boy." Yes, that's the
Dirty
name
White Boy. Yeah.
of the song. Yeah, I think the album cover combined with that was the first single was called "Dirty White Boy." I think that's why it didn't sell well. But I'm still excited to talk about that. There's some songs on that album that I think are really good. The Head Games album I think has some of the best deep cuts in Foreigner's catalog. So excited to talk about that one. In the meantime, music is art, art is expression, and we will catch you in the next episode.